the best way to scout your competition, and should you? Joe and Chris, or Chris, I'm pretty sure this actually was a question a long time ago, right when we started out Kitchen Table Talks. Right at the very beginning, one of the first couple shows, wasn't it?
Probably a year plus ago. It's a thing where I have a quote ready to go, which is that no one ever won a race looking sideways. I am in no way interested in knowing what my would-be competitor is doing, because I just don't think that that's a way I'm going to innovate. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the woman's name. It's just totally left my mind. There's a really great book where she teaches this, that basically looking inside your own circle is just going to give you the same results as everybody in the circle, and you've got to jump that little shark. I'll find it in just a little bit. But, I don't think that Peter Dinklage looks at what Josh Brolin is doing and decides that's how, he's going to do what he does. I think he kind of, figures it out on his own. The woman's name was Andrea Cates, and her book was called Find Your Next. And that, to me, is the seminal book. Yes, I said that, for this kind of topic. But Joe, now I'm interested in you. And then, of course, we have to bother Matt because, he's here.
I thought you were going to try. I thought you were trying to come up with Young Me Moon from that same episode where we talked about competition, who wrote a very interesting book around differentiation more than anything else. Boy, you're right. Every time we talk about competition, we do bring up that quote about nobody won a race looking sideways. However, it would not be honest of me not to say I spend a lot of time looking around at what my competition is doing, and not so much studying it, but making sure I'm well ahead of them. And if they were to try something new, and just so we're clear, we're talking about competition across a bunch of different kinds of restaurants. So I've got barbecue competition, I got burger competition, I got different competition in neighborhoods, things like that. So I feel like I do our company a disservice if I'm not at least keeping my eye on them as far as understanding what their approach is. It doesn't, truthfully, I don't know that it generally shapes our approach. It's sort of like the advertisement, the part of advertising that makes you feel better after the sale. After you've made the purchase, a lot of that advertising geared towards making you feel good about that purchase. A lot of my keeping an eye on my competition, this is going to sound horribly conceited. A lot of my keeping my eye on competition makes me feel like, yeah, I knew I was doing it right. They're nowhere near me. They're not even catching up. They're not even in the same realm of doing it the same way that I am. So, really, we've talked a lot about over the last year and a half or so about being remarkable and staying away from your competition and not worrying about it and look only at yourself and how you're doing compared to yourself. But the truth is, I find that I need that gauge, whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I do find myself needing that gauge to make sure I'm headed in the right direction. What do you think, Mr. Ridings?
At a personal level, I kind of agree with you, Chris, but there's, I do pay attention to what my competition is doing, but it has more to do, at an organizational level, it has more to do with making sure that I've got an answer. So when a prospect says, what's the difference between, or if I'm sitting there and I'm competing against them for a deal, I need to be able to differentiate myself from them in some way, or it needs to be about fit or something else, right? So I need to know what they're doing to do that. I certainly don't need to know what they're doing when it comes to what I do, in terms of dictating what I do, for a few reasons, not just because of what you stated, but also we don't always know why they're doing what they're doing. Behind the scenes, contextually, we don't know why they're doing it. It could be that they're going to go a completely different direction 3 months down the road, or they're being acquired by some other organization, or all this behind the scenes that you don't know about. And they're publishing some new product or approach or service that is going to then align with that down the road. And it seems silly to you now, but it makes sense 6 months later. I'm not in the forecasting business where my competition is concerned.